That's my in a box. You get those in a box vibes from Master Torment. It was like, I don't know, just thinking of that
didn't pop
Live.
up in my head.
It didn't pop in your head.
Get ready, get set. It's a first with the Oh Brother Podcast.
Welcome to the Oh Brother Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith.
I think the Force is sensing something.
It's sensing that I'm tired is what it's sensing. And then it's way past my bedtime. And, what made me laugh as I started thinking about the Honeymooners episode, again, dating ourselves, but where Ralph with the big bug eyes.
Yeah, right.
When
he gets slapped on the back by Uncle Leo.
Yeah, especially that episode, the Oh My Aching Back episode, folks.
Yes.
We could recite every Honeymooners episode from all the 39 lost episodes.
Unfortunately, we're not here to do that.
We're here to talk about the Acolyte, which we literally just finished watching the first two episodes, which were
a quarter
debuted.
of the series.
It was debuted tonight, June 4th, 2024, and we thought we would come on and do a sort of fresh take on it. Right up front, we're not claiming to be deep, the deepest of Star Wars experts. We're certainly more than casual. Yeah, more than casual fans, for sure. But
I do have a nice poster.
If you're looking for deep analysis, there's one podcast in particular I could recommend. I don't know if I should give him a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely give him a shout
out. Jimmy and Jason of the Rebel Force Radio. Anybody that's a Star Wars fan, if you aren't following them already, then where have you been? So, fantastic. And we were, of course, I always like to say we were fortunate to have Jimmy Mack on the show. He was kind enough to be on it. But those guys really, there's nobody that knows the universe better than they do together. It's a great team over there. So I know as we're doing this, they're doing a live stream, and they've got about 2,000 people watching it. So and it's just you and me, my friend. So Acolyte. Now we did a first look on the Acolyte back in April,
right?
When the teaser, the trailer dropped, and we were intrigued. It was.
It didn't give away anything.
It really did.
I really was totally unaware of what I was about to watch.
Yeah, and I made some just kind of basic notes. We're going to get 8 episodes. I'm not sure. Did you see when the last episode concludes? What date they're stretching this out to? Okay,
I didn't.
We can maybe look that up, but. And Leslie Headland is the showrunner here. And we got, I should have pulled it up, but let me run down. I know we did it in the first look, but just kind of the main cast. You've got Amandla Stenberg. As we've discovered tonight, spoiler alert, plays 2 characters, and we'll talk about that. Daphne Keene, who plays a Padawan named Jecki. Jodie Turner-Smith. You got Lee Jung Jae, who plays Master Soul. Charlie Bennett as Yord. I have a lot to say about Yord. Rebecca Henderson. Let's see. Leah Brady. Of course, Jonas Suetamo, who we talked about, plays Kelnaka.
Who we buddy of yours.
Yeah, we go way back to Hollywood Studios. Manny Jacinto, Carrie Ann Moss, of course, and on and on and on. And so
who?
you can Carrie Ann Moss.
Who?
Trinity from the Matrix. Who? Yeah. All right. So
really?
So let's before you start giving your commentary and all that shit.
By the way, it ends July 16th is the final episode.
Okay, July 6th. Wow, that's quick.
Yep,
that's quick. Okay, so episode 1. And now I love the duality of the titles. You got Lost, Found. And then you have Revenge and Justice as the title of the episode 2. What's that mean?
Went right past me.
Oh, you didn't even pick up on that. Okay.
Nope.
That was really pretty simple. So, do you want to?
I know.
Do you want to set it up as far as just kind of not the episodes per se, but just kind of the basic sort of premise here of what we saw?
Well, from what I gather, the Acolyte, like the Sith, are bad, right? Jedi
I-
good, Acolyte bad. But there's this one character
Yeah.
who plays twins.
Right.
And one's good, one's bad. No, this
Right.
isn't Dead Ringers. It's
Wow,
the
there's-
Acolyte.
There's a Cronenberg reference, folks.
Exactly, Jeremy
Yeah.
Irons.
Yeah,
But
David Cronenberg.
the first thing I have to say is these sets looked cheap.
Really?
Yeah, Jon Favreau is not
Wow.
working on this show. The
Wow.
first shot, the opening shot, and this is why I missed the title. I thought, is this Galaxy's Edge they're filming in?
Well, there was a couple of shots where I thought like she wakes up on the Galactic Star Cruiser. They're in
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, but that's Disney trying to crowbar all that stuff in with the Batu and all this kind
Right.
of stuff.
Which
You know,
I
to
don't
make
think
it
they.
look-
I think that's been lost. I've never heard, and I was just looking online for
Yeah,
the
there's
name of.
references. There's references out there.
But, first off, when the action starts, I said this in the first.
You
one.
didn't even finish sort of telling us what it's
Well,
about.
that
first
first
of all.
shot. Oh well, I know I didn't because I wanted to jump
Yeah.
right into it. But basically, it's about these twins who each thought the other died at a young age, but they both survived,
Mhm.
and they're now in a confrontation. And this is 100 years prior to the beginning of Phantom Menace.
Yeah, so Amanda Stenberg is playing both Osha and Anna-Sire. Was it Anna-Sire, I think, or Anna-Sire? I can't remember. And
May.
and also May, her twin sister.
Mhm.
And so her sister May starts a fire as a kid that kills their whole family,
Mhm.
right? And ultimately, you know, it basically is following the storyline that May is out for revenge against the Jedi, who Osha's basically taken sides with. She's trained with the Jedi,
Right, but
right? But she
Osha
leaves. But Osha,
also is out to get May because she blames May for the death of her family. She said
Osha
that,
doesn't even know. Osha doesn't even know May's alive.
well, when she finds she's alive,
I think that's too
He's
strong to say. She's
her-
out to get her.
she's the Padawan. What do they call
Yeah. The master.
the master? The master stops her and doesn't want her to get involved because he's concerned she's out for revenge. Right?
Or justice. Yeah, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Now-
You stop right there.
Well,
It's a
yeah.
hot take here, folks.
well,
Are you
no,
stunned? Did someone use the force on you?
no,
What
I'm not
happened?
done. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't want to do more of a recap than that for people who haven't watched it.
Yeah, no, but and those are really the characters we were introduced to primarily.
Mhm.
You know, that we
And I said this in the first look. The 100 years ago, before Phantom Menace, and before George Lucas sold his soul to Disney, company to Disney. I just lost my thought because I said that.
you're shitting on the master himself. So maybe you
No,
tell a lesson.
George Lucas? I don't have a problem with George Lucas. I don't think he should have sold his company to Disney, but
Mm.
the opening shot bothered me, the set. Now, I quickly got over that. And I want to say up front, I'm not going to pass judgment, yay or nay, on the series, only having seen.
Yeah, we've said that
Two
before.
episodes.
Like when we watched Andor, and
Right.
anytime we've talked about a series, we've always kind of preface it by saying that. I really liked the first episode. I thought the action was really good. It was way better than I had anticipated because I was a little skeptical when in the teaser trailer and then the full trailer that came out with, you know, the things they were doing with the martial arts, with the kind of old kung fu style, with the wires and that sort of look. But it was way better than that. Like it gets into the action pretty much right away.
And it's great.
And it's great. And you got two female leads kicking ass.
Yep.
I thought was fantastic. Even Carrie Ann Moss,
Was
however
excellent.
long, however long she stayed
That's
in
the
it.
thing. I'm like, Carrie Ann Moss, I'm in. I'm
Yeah,
in. And 2
but
minutes later, I'm out.
I knew they were going to do that though. There was already talk of that was going to happen.
See, I
But
didn't
you
hear that.
also, yeah, but I also can appreciate, a production that will go to that extreme and kill off a big star like that. Because let's face it, I mean, I have a problem when there's a lot of known faces in these series anyways. I'd rather it be more unknowns, which the
in the
rest of the cast, for me anyways, pretty much is.
in the first 5 minutes, Carrie Ann Moss gets killed, and then Yosh. How do you say
This
her
is going to
name?
be painful, folks.
Yeah. How do you say her name?
OSHA,
OSHA. I should think of
like the occupational
Right.
safety and health. Yeah. Okay.
So she wakes up from a dream, and I'm like, oh, Carrie Ann Moss is still in it. Now, I had no problem with the acting. Okay.
The acting was great.
I think the acting was
Actually,
excellent,
the acting was very good. Yeah.
but the sets looked cheap. When they showed that scene of her waking up, I instantly was like, this is to pitch the Land Cruiser, which when they were
Star
filming this was still a thing.
Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Mike selling Land Rovers. I don't
You
know what
know.
he's talking about. Yeah,
know.
it was. So it opens up on this a planet called Ueda, and then there's this battle between Master and Dara, which is Carrie Ann Moss,
Mhm.
and then the Acolyte, which is May, as we learn,
Which-
played
right.
by Amanda Stenberg. So great action, great opening. But yeah, I thought, oh, hey, look at, she's waking up on the Galactic Star Cruiser. That definitely had vibes
Right.
of that.
To me, the sets now the
I
the
didn't think
distant
they were.
shots
Yeah,
with CGI were fine.
I didn't think the sets were all that bad. I see what you mean in some spots, but I mean, I didn't think it was that big a deal. It didn't take away from
It
it
did
for
for me. It did.
I
for
like
me.
this idea that she's got a handheld droid, which is something we really haven't
That was my
seen.
favorite character.
Yeah,
Pip.
Pip.
Yeah,
Pip's
my
very-
favorite character.
Yeah, Pip was very cute. It was weird too because again, being 100 years BBY, which is before the Battle of Yavin, which is really when that's a
Blah,
New
blah, blah,
Hope.
blah, blah.
It's the events of A New Hope.
Mhm.
That was the Battle of Yavin.
Okay,
Just to bring you into the
right.
the nerd zone a little
Because
bit.
that
but-
was like
Yeah.
way over my head.
and so it's 100 years before Phantom Menace, but 132 before A New Hope. So it's 132 years before those events. But
And the Republic was so much more diverse then.
well, it's weird. I wanted to mention that because you can't escape the fact that
No.
now I wanted to ask you this in all seriousness. Do you think that I'm not saying it was an intentional commentary because we've certainly seen diversification in like Andor and other series. And, you started to see it when we got into the sequel trilogy with Finn and others. But for the most part, the Star Wars galaxies look like us.
Correct.
So it's
And-
interesting that I don't know what you make of that, where you're going 132 years before all that. This is an incredibly diverse
Right.
galaxy, and then it ends up looking like us.
Right.
What happened?
Until Phantom Menace and Samuel L. Jackson. That was
Well,
like,
Sam Jackson,
whoa.
right? But it was very right. But it was like Lando, right? You got Lando Calrissian,
Right.
and
Right.
so James Earl Jones providing the voice of Darth Vader, of course. But that is very interesting. I just thought from a storyline aspect,
Mhm.
but what are they going to do? Just keep it like a galaxy of
Maybe
white guys?
the
That's
race
not.
war. I don't know.
Well, it isn't interesting. Is there any sort of backstory to that? I wonder.
Yeah.
Would
I don't
they
think
ever
so.
would they ever address it? Probably not.
I think
Probably
like
not.
they have in their live action movies, it's just even though the actors were all excellent, I don't want
Right.
to make
No,
this
it's got nothing to
about,
do with that. It's
Right.
got nothing to do with that. It's just interesting.
and I liked them all. She was
Mhm.
instantly likable, even when she was May as the bad guy. I liked her.
Yeah, I
You know?
love her. I love the outfit, and I love whoever's doing the martial arts. Now I know they all go through training,
Yeah.
and martial arts stunt training and all of that. But I'm pretty sure that we've got, doubles in there doing a lot of
This
this stuff.
was good. This
Yeah.
was good.
And they're calling it force fu, is what I've heard it referred to as.
Because he's Asian.
No.
That
Kung
instantly-
fu martial arts, right?
Okay.
And then the force. So it's this blend of the
Okay.
force with kung fu.
Okay. When I think of Kung Fu, I think of David Carradine, and
A white guy.
that's a reference, right? Playing an Asian.
You don't
guy.
think of Bruce Lee or okay.
No,
Anyways.
but I think of a white guy playing an Asian guy.
Yeah, which is talk about terrible. That's just
Disney has
cringeworthy.
forced diversity into their movies,
Mhm.
and I hope that's not the case with this series. That they just hired these actors of diversity for diversity's sake. I would say no, because they're good actors.
Well,
I liked
think
all
that
the actors.
no, there's no. The answer is no, because they're great. They were great in it.
Right.
They're great.
I
in it. So
agree, but
it's not some affirmative action.
your buddy there, that
hiring
you were going to talk about, what's his name?
Yord.
Yord. Yord goes
Yord
to
Yord is the master. He's the master to the Padawan Jenki, I think it was.
yeah, a younger woman.
And I mentioned her, Daphne, I think was the actress's name.
And Yord
Jackie.
obviously goes to the Jedi gym.
Well, it's so funny. I was going to bring this up because, okay, see, there's just certain unwritten rules of the galaxy where, right? Have you ever seen
Nope.
in any Star Wars series or film ever someone shirtless like that?
Nope.
And if you have, drop it in the comments. I want to know.
And if
If
we
you're going
did-
to, then I want to see it equally throughout the galaxy.
right,
Right? I want to see Master and Dara, changing outfits.
yeah, in his dad bod.
I want to see Trinity in there getting. Well, but it's just.
I'm so
yeah,
sad.
I don't need the eye candy of Yord.
Right. I'm
in
so
this.
sad Carrie Ann Moss was killed off.
Yeah, she was
I
great.
just
There were some
she's
things.
in it
that-
for 5 minutes, and it
Yeah.
was my favorite 5 minutes. Of
and
the
she,
film.
I'll
of
be
the
honest,
mo-
the
the
very first, minute or two, when there's an exchange between May and her,
Mhm.
I was like, ugh, the dialogue seemed very.
Yeah, I agree.
There was something about the dialogue that very open, and then it quickly said,
Quickly.
oh, okay, here we go.
Yes.
And
we were like,
Yeah.
that
thought it was gonna suck.
that moonwalk without the feet moving, that she uses the force.
Yeah,
That was a lot better in context than it was in the trailer.
that was something I found interesting. Where again, thinking this is so far,
In the
before
past.
so long in the past that. Like they're in these, you see there's a shot where she's Osha is like in an astronaut suit doing like a
Yeah.
spacewalk working on the ship.
Right.
She's a mech neck,
Mhm.
and she's out
Which
there
is-
working on the ship. It was almost like,
Star Wars speech for mechanic.
yeah, it was almost like like kind of antiquated. Oh, they got spacesuit, space helmet. We don't see anybody out in space in Star Wars with a space like that.
Right.
Like the old fishbowl, but
because
obviously
they
something in the atmosphere. That,
right. They
know.
fixed the atmosphere in 130 years.
And then there was an
From
interesting
global warming.
Now there's an interesting sequence where she's on a ship and she's being transported after being captured, and she's in this prison hold with all these other inmates,
Right.
and they go to make a break for it in these escape pods,
Mhm.
and she's left behind, and she's trying to, and it was a very like Ripley from Aliens moment where she's trying to figure out how to get out of this thing before it detonates, and
Right.
she
She's
even
in an
kinda-
asteroid field.
yeah, she's wearing like that tank top. It had a lot of Ripley vibes to me. Karlak, we see this planet Karlak, which is give me Hoth vibes. It's like snowy, and it's
Yeah.
where they crash land, or where she crash lands.
That set was
they
fine.
go to find her.
But I think
Yeah.
that was more CGI than it was actual set.
Yeah, and then so episode 1 ends with basically May going out on the rocks, by the ocean or whatever, and she's having this dialogue between what is it, Kylo Ren's some Kylo Ren look-alike or something,
Yeah.
right? You see him staying out on the rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the one we see in the trailer with the red lightsaber,
Mhm.
and I don't really know who that character is yet. And again, recognize that there's people that are deeply knowledgeable about the High Republic era. They've
Right.
read all the books, and we don't know any of that. We
Right.
clearly, we don't
And if
know
you
any
want
of
to
that.
hit us, hit us.
Totally, you want to flame us out there, to go for it. There's no, no shame in that. Episode
think-
2, Mike, Revenge Justice. So Carrie Ann Moss is gone.
Yeah.
And if you look on IMDb, you see what she's credited with, 1 episode, so it can't be too much of a shock.
Well, I didn't even do that.
Yeah, but I think they do like 1
Yeah.
and then hyphen just to maybe throw you off. I don't know.
Yeah.
So now I thought the pacing of the second episode was a lot slower. It was a lot
and
more
it was a lot
action.
shorter. It was
was a lot
only
shorter.
36 minutes, and that's
Yeah.
including credits.
But this is where we get acquainted with a planet called Olega, which is like there's a Jedi temple there, and May is going to attempt to assassinate the second of 4 Jedi
Yeah.
that she's seeking revenge against, right? And this is Master Torben. And all I could think about when I saw this dude was, that's my in a box. You get those in a box vibes from Master Torben. It was like, I don't know, just thinking of that
that
Saturday
didn't
Night
pop up
Live.
in my head. I don't
It
know.
didn't pop in your head. Chimere, is it Chimere, the guy who works in the apothecary selling poison?
Right.
You know,
Bunta.
well, that's the poison, right?
Yeah.
the Bunta. We talked about Yord already. I liked his Padawan Jecki. She was pretty cool. I like the creatures.
Mhm.
I like the ships. I like
They had the walking trash droid.
Oh, I missed that.
You
I
know,
missed
you
that.
can't even
Yeah.
do that in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I missed that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that was in there.
But yeah, I think the most redeeming thing about this, although there was some great exchanges between Master Soul and May, they have this kind of standoff, and that was pretty badass too, I thought. So the action was great, and
But if you're looking for another Andor, this isn't it.
it's up there. I was really impressed by it, I gotta say. I thought Leslie
it's-
Headland did a good job.
Again, it's too early for me
Too
to
early.
say.
Right,
But-
because is it gonna, the way that it went from 1 to 2, just the progression between those 2 episodes, I'm like, this is gonna go off a cliff in
Yeah.
episode 3. We're gonna see Lizzo and Jack Black show up in episode 4,
This is how I'm
Shit
going to
like
sum
that.
up the entire series without even seeing it. Good twin, bad twin, big reveal. They're already teasing a reveal. Now, we're going to have to wait till episode 8 to get Yoda or whoever the trainer of May was, because they tease this a little too much.
Well, isn't it the
They're
master?
a little
that
too
she-
much
Is it not the master she's talking to
foreshadowing.
out on the rocks?
No, I don't
that-
think so.
Well,
I don't.
she
I
does-
think the master has yet to reveal himself.
that
to
could
use
be.
a Godfather
Yeah, that could
line.
be. And again, I just hear people screaming, "Yes, you stupid!"
Right.
How do
right.
you know that it's not? Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. all
And
those
some
characters.
people, some people have seen 4 episodes. I would have liked to have seen a couple of more.
I will agree with what I heard before I watched it, which is that you don't really need to be deeply knowledgeable about the High Republic and all the books, and like you can easily jump in and watch this. And
Story's simple.
yeah, it is simple. Yeah, but good action.
Good acting.
Yord had one of the most famous lines in the whole thing, which is, "I got a bad feeling about this."
hmm
Did you catch that?
Yeah, they've got to use that line in every.
Got to use that line.
That's
yeah.
part of the Disney
Yeah, and again,
acquisition.
you got a cantina scene. You got, there was enough there that was familiar to kind of ground it in the Star Wars universe.
And it
you know?
ends with the Wookiee.
And you get Kelnaka, which I was just laughing because I just love that Jonas is in there.
Yeah.
getting to play the Wookiee role in a little bit of a different way,
Yeah.
because I mean, for the sequel trilogy, he's really kind of carrying on or trying to carry on the legacy of Peter Mayhew, who of course was Chewbacca. But anyways, yeah, all in all, I'm in, I'm on
Right.
board.
Right. I'm half and half right now. I
Yeah.
like the action scenes. I like the acting.
Yeah.
I hate the sets.
Do you guys have a big problem with the sets? Like, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
if it's just me, but
Yeah.
it looked cheap. It looked cheap.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's
And
your. I didn't have a feeling
I
on
don't
that either
think
way.
we're looking at the next Andor or Mandalorian, which is the only two things Disney has done right.
You can't. It's not even a fair thing to say. I mean, all you got is baby Grogu. I mean, you're not going to compete with that. Unless we get a 700-year-old Yoda in this one, then that you might be talking. I don't know.
But Andor, which I just rewatched because it came out on 4K,
yeah,
is so good from start to finish, and I can't wait. I wish they skipped this and brought Andor back sooner, because I can't wait for the second part.
I'm pleased enough, and so what? We got to wait till next week now, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, by the time you get this recording, it might already be out. But that's episode 1 and 2 of the Acolyte. So it's what's your rating then ultimately?
Well, I wouldn't rate it. It's just too early.
Well, the 2 episodes I'm talking about.
I like the first 5 minutes, and I like the acting, and that's all I can really say without.
I really liked the first episode. I really did. I thought it was great. It was much better than what my expectations were.
I don't think we'll talk again about this until it's over.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
No. But there's only 6 more episodes now.
Hopefully, when we come back and talk about it, I'll be saying more positive things.
Well, we're a quarter of the way through. So
yeah, and I'm not ragging it. It's incomplete.
But I think the incredibly low energy level you're bringing, I think that's indicative of your review on the series so far. So yeah, but there was enough in it that intrigued me and I thought was well done. So kudos to Leslie Headland. I think she did enough. Hopefully, now I'm curious about those that are steeped in the lore of the High Republic and all the books and stuff, and what their take is on on it. If it's satisfying.
I mean, there's she did some really good things, but she's not responsible for the set design, so I'm not going to put that on her.
That's my in a box.
But it was definitely the land.
Master Torben was like, it was like Doogie Howser in a box. It just, if those two.
I'm trying to figure out why, with him floating and I don't know what gave you that. What brought your brain to that?
The glass cube. He looked a little like the character that Justin Timberlake dresses up as when they do that skit. It just had all the vibes of that skit.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
And he was a bit of a dick, which is where I get the dick in a box. He was a bit of a dick from her perspective, Yeah.
Now they're going to have to edit this.
Did you notice this?
Oh, a little Bruce action back there.
That poster.
That's Born in the USA.
I've had that poster since high school.
Really?
Yeah. And that used to be on my wall when I was in high school.
Was that your first concert?
Yeah, 1985.
We were in the 5th row.
August 31st, as it ended up being, 1985, folks.
Right.
Well, there you go. Acolyte episodes 1 and 2, season 1, episode 1 and 2. Will there be a second season? Time will tell. We'll find out. I don't know. By Mike's take, probably not, but we'll see. Mike would be fine if there wasn't an episode 3, I think, at this point. But that's going to do it.
I want to see the characters develop.
Okay, we need the Kel Naka. We got 2 seconds of Kel Naka. We got to get more Kel Naka. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for another episode of the Over the Podcast. My name is Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith. We'll see you next time.